Good morning and welcome to the Haven Financial Group radio show. I'm Larry Colvig, founder and CEO of the Haven Financial Group. Again, thanks for listening. We're going to talk about retirement like we do every week, Kim, right? Every week. Good to be with you again.
Great to be with you as well. Right. We're going to talk about retirement. This time, though, we're going to just try to remind everybody, as we start to approach July 1, I think it's important that everybody remember some of the updates that have occurred here in 2025 when it comes to people's retirements, whether they are associated with taxes, or we're going to talk about Social Security and COLA. We're going to talk about some of the mistakes that folks make. So here mid-year, you want to make sure you're not doing that. And then we're going to address some of our maybe younger listeners who are starting to think about saving for college. It could also be grandma and grandpa, but those kinds of issues. So it's a great show and it's full of lots of great information. It's great to be with you, Larry.
Yeah, retirement, it's a long-term game. And every year there's constant changes. There's probably never a year there isn't a change. And quickly your retirement plan can become outdated. And that's why we at Haven Financial Group, we really strive to keep people up to date, either through classes or having them in and getting them updates. Today we're going to talk on Social Security in the first segment. But there's just always changes in every facet of retirement. Medicare has changes and taxes are constantly changing. So again, staying up with the times is imperative for a retirement plan.
Absolutely, it is. I think we've got a guest with us today, right? Mitch Moss is with us. He's a Social Security retirement specialist at Haven Financial Group. Great to have you with us, Mitch.
Great to be here. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. So we want to start talking today about Social Security COLA in 2025. Would you do us a favor and just tell people, in case they've forgotten what COLA stands for, what it stands for and what that's all about?
Well, the COLA, it's an acronym, so it's cost of living adjustment. And that's done every year. Basically, the consumer price index is calculated and will come up, and it's really basically it follows the inflation. So if we have high inflation, we're typically going to get a higher COLA increase on our Social Security.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, we really saw it go up quite significantly, did we not?
We did. We saw some really large increases. Now, don't hold your breath. I don't think those are going to be coming around anytime soon because, inflation has been going downward, and that's going to be reflective of this next year's cost of living adjustment as well.
Now, we actually get COLA numbers in the fall, correct, for the following year?
That's correct. Typically around October is when they come out. They are saying this year is going to be on average about 2.5% increase is what they're looking at. Might be a little bit lower, maybe 2.3 as I've heard some numbers coming out as well.
Okay, terrific. So this year, the 2024 into 25, what was the increase this year?
This year it was 2.5%.
Okay.
And Kim, why that really makes a difference, considering we do a lot of classes. This past week we had a very well attended class at Dakota County Technical College, and we do them other places as well. Listeners can go to our website and see all the classes we teach, maximize Social Security and tax. And we discussed in those classes and in our one-on-one meetings that from 62 to 66, Social Security grows by roughly 6%, plus this cost of living adjustment. And from 66 to 70, it grows by approximately 8%, plus the cost of living adjustment. And you're right. Well, you mentioned a couple of years ago, we had an 8.7% increase in 1 year. Yes, everything was super expensive, which is why we had an 8.7 increase. But if you were in those latter years, if you were delaying, you would have seen almost a 17% increase in 1 year. That is substantial. Now, that we're not ever trying to tell people to wait just to wait, but we really strive to make sure they're making an educated decision as to when they're going to take it. If you're single or a married couple, what is the strategy behind that? Oftentimes, the higher breadwinner may take it later, and then the lower breadwinner may take it earlier. But it's really a one-on-one conversation.
Mm-hmm. Mitch, are you sometimes surprised that people just, turn 62 and they immediately turn it on?
Oh, absolutely. I see it all the time. And I get people coming in. They're like, I'm going to take it at 62. I believe I'm entitled to it. I should get it. But then I always ask the question, I go, are you working? They go, well, yeah, I have to keep working. Well, what's your earnings level? Because there is an earnings limit if you do take it early prior to your full retirement age, which that number is right around 23.4, I believe it is right now. from 62 to your full retirement age. So if you're making a substantial amount of money, say 60, 50, 60, $70,000 a year, you're not going to turn your Social Security on at age 62.
Right. So let me ask you, let's say you do turn it on at 62 because you've decided you're going to retire, and then at 65, you're offered an opportunity as a consultant and you would really like to take that. What happens to your Social Security then?
Well, the unfortunate thing is you have a 12-month window to make any changes with your Social Security once you start it. So from 62 to your full retirement age, you have a 12-month window. So if there's the opportunity that you think you might be going back to work, whether it's in a year or 2 years, come on in, have that conversation, because again, we might want to be living off of some of your funds in the advent that we might actually go back to work, because we don't want to start that benefit because you'll stop earning delayed credits on your Social Security. And if you're making a larger sum of money, you won't see a dime of your Social Security because they'll remove it all from you.
Okay. So that means from that point forward, they'll take
Correct.
it away. So, when I'm 78, I'm still not getting Social Security.
No, you're still getting your Social Security. It's through that year.
I see.
So
Okay.
if the contract goes for 1 year,
I see.
well, you might not get any Social Security that year because your earnings were higher.
Okay.
The next year you don't have any earnings, your Social Security will pick back up again. They look at it as on a month-to-month basis.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it's one of those things. You have an earnings cap, again, like it's 23.4. If you're over that, for every $2 over 23.4, they're going to take $1 of your Social Security away.
Okay.
So think of it as if you make 30,000 over, they're going to take 15,000 of that check away.
Sure. Absolutely. Well, it seems like to me, this is all the more reason that you want to partner with somebody like you folks at Haven Financial Group, because to make decisions about when to take Social Security, they can really be detrimental. That's a really important decision to make.
Well, the question I usually ask my clients, I go, would you take a reduction in your pension if you had a pension? Would you take a 25% reduction? And the answer I always get is absolutely not. I worked hard for that pension. Well, you also worked hard for your Social Security, right? Even though they consider it a tax and, it was a kind of a forced savings account, if you will. But again, it's yours. How are we going to get the best out of it? And that's really what I like to do with my clients, show them what we can do. What's the reasoning behind delaying, living off of maybe some of your qualified funds first, and then turning Social Security on later to max out that benefit for the rest of your life.
Mitch Moss is our guest. He's a Social Security retirement specialist with Haven Financial Group. So, Mitch, let's talk about Social Security and its stability, because that certainly, I think, is a real fear for a lot of people who are getting close to retirement age. It may be the deciding factor for a lot of people who just decided 62, I'm going to start to draw.
Well, it's always a consideration because ever since the inception of Social Security, they've had to make changes to make it more soluble, right? So none of us are going to like any of the changes that they do. So for instance, when you first were able to start collecting Social Security was age 65. That was your full retirement age. Then they made some changes. Then it went to 66. Then it went from 66 in some months. Now it's 67. One of the most logical things that me and Larry have also talked about, we don't know because they're not going to obviously broadcast this to us, but we think that they're probably going to change the age in which you're qualified for full retirement again to make it soluble. But it's not going anywhere. In my opinion, obviously, I don't know what the future holds, but the majority of the world in the United States needs their Social Security benefit, right? They've got options on the table. Obviously, we have to wait till Congress hands those down until we actually know.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, Larry, that's something you've said many times.
Yeah, Kim, I think the takeaway from this segment is for the listeners, if they have any Social Security questions, worries, concerns, reservations, whatever, come on in and visit with Mitch. I know Mitch has more meetings on Social Security. Anybody that comes in will have a detailed conversation with him or any of us. And holistically, with Social Security, how does it fit into your retirement puzzle? It's a big piece of it. I'll tell you this, that Social Security makes up 30 to 40% of the average American's retirement income. So it's a big deal. Sure. So come on in. You'll walk out with a Social Security report, maximization report. It's a great roadmap. It's very, very helpful. And I think they'll find that conversation very, 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 very helpful in the big picture, because lots of people have questions, and that's why they come to our classes.
Absolutely. Well, let's tell everybody how they can see Mitch. They can call 612-504-8400. Tell them that you heard us here on the radio. Tell them that you've got some questions about Social Security. Be sure you come in and sit down with some of the specialists there at Haven Financial Group. Talk a little bit more about your retirement plans, what you're looking for. Make sure they're a perfect fit for you and you're a perfect fit for them. Again, it's 612-504-8400. Mitch, thanks very much. Great information.
Well, thank you, Kim. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Absolutely. Larry, when we come back, let's talk a little bit more about taxes because everybody wants to talk about taxes, don't you think?
Oh, sure. Why wouldn't we?
This is the Haven Financial Group Radio Show.